It seems like every day a new controversial moment emerges in regards to Juan Soto, including yesterday when I put out a video about him kinda, sorta grounding out to the center fielder in an odd way. But while this wasn't even his fault, it was still a negative play that involved him. So today I want to discuss something completely different from anything concerned with negativity, being instead how he actually has been closer to the player he was last year than pretty much anybody realizes, largely as a result of him being perhaps the unluckiest player in MLB so far this season. I'll go over some numbers towards the end of the video, but before we get there I want to look at some individual plays, starting with every time he's gotten out on a batted ball with an expected batting average over 700, with 3 of them coming on hard line drives, including this juggling catch from Jacob Wilson that had an XPA of 911, and then the next 3 coming on fly balls that all typically would have went for extra bases, with one being a robbed home run, another a well-struck ball just in the wrong spot, and the third coming as a result of the poor base running from Brandon Nimmo that I detailed yesterday. A lot of guys are going to have maybe 3 or 4 plays like this in a full season, not 6 in about 60 games. The other major section I want to look at concerns plays that might not have had the same level of expected production, but still required a ton of skill to prevent him from getting his deserved hits, with 3 of the 5 I'm going to look at being ground balls that infielders had to slide on to even field before still being able to throw them out, with the last one perhaps being the most unlikely from Marlins shortstop Xavier Edwards, who had to contend with the second base umpire basically being in his face as he made this play up the middle. The other 2 both came versus the Cubs, when first Pete Crow Armstrong used his exceptional wheels to run down this ball in the gap that would have seen many center fielders playing it off the fence, then Gold Glover Ian Happ showing off his vertical on a line drive that seemed destined to be an extra base hit. To give you an idea of just how much these plays I've shown have affected him, consider that if each one of these had gotten down, his batting average right now would be 279 instead of 224, and if only 5 out of the 11 had managed to squeak through, he'd still be at 249. And the advanced data certainly backs this up beyond even my small sample size analysis, as among batters with at least 200 plate appearances, he has either the worst or second worst mark in the difference between his expected batting average, expected slugging, and expected WOBA versus their real-world counterparts. The only other guy really in contention for the title of unluckiest hitter would be Salvador Perez, though since his quality of contact numbers are significantly worse than Juan's, I do think I'd give the lefty the edge here. According to Savant, right now, Soto should have a 294 average and 569 slug, numbers that would actually be perfectly in line with his performance last season that earned him his record-setting contract. So for all the Mets fans out there right now panicking that he's a bust, please try to keep in mind that he's probably been MLB's unluckiest hitter so far, and a real correction in his stats is probably just around the corner. Now, thank you so much for watching, and please remember that if you ever see anything you'd like to see detailed in the Made the Cut video, whether that be a specific play, player, or narrative surrounding a team or something, feel free to reach out to my email, basebpoet@gmail.com, and if I do end up using your idea, I'll of course give you a shout out. Thank you so much once again, and I'll see you in the next one.